Hi, this is Will the Werewolf, and this is a little gap in the storyline for the vampires. A lot of people wonder what a werewolf's abilities are, so I'm going to go into what my abilities are. So here we go. Please like and subscribe and do the belly thing and all that kind of stuff if you would. That would be wonderful. Okay, so here are my abilities. So many people have wondered what abilities a werewolf has. So I'll go into the abilities that I have. I'm a little different from the werewolves of myth though, because I'm real. And the things that I mention are what I can do. I have very few comparable stories. The first thing that I have is a very special friend. I have a wolf soul that dates back a few hundred years, maybe over 1,000. He's not sure if he's actually aged himself. He's been by my side for all the time I can remember. He came and found me in my crib when I was a cub, a few months old. He originally came from a tribe of wolves struggling to survive in the Ural Mountains. That is a brutal and unforgiving place at the best of times, but it was beyond survivability during this particular winter. A feral pack of humans struggled to survive in the same time frame, so the two tribes got together using fly agaric magic mushrooms in a full-on bloody shamanic rite, magic and all that shit. The mushrooms were fed to a wolf that the tribe of humans had caught, and they drank its wee the next day. You might be a little shocked to hear drinking wee bit, but fly agarics need to be processed so they can make you very ill or even very dead. So weirdly, you can process it by putting it through the digestion of another mammal. The kidneys then excrete the processed hallucinogen as a waste product, which is the wee that then is imbibed. Yes, that means to drink, yuck, and get the nicer effect of having a trip and not dying. That is trippy shit in itself. When did the human think to feed mushrooms to another creature and then drink its piss? Did they think that this would be the outcome? I mean, the person who first drank milk was a weirdo if you think about it, but drinking piss, that is what Fen says happens for him to become the free wolf soul he is now. The souls of the wolves communicated with the souls of the humans, and they chose particular people they seem to have an affinity for from the man tribe. Fenrir is my wolf soul. That's not his original name, by the way. He picked his name up while travelling through northern Europe in the 9th century. The name change has something to do with Vikings, and I will write those stories when I get to it. He loves the Norse sagas and recognises a lot of himself in Loki's child Fenrir, the giant wolf of Scandinavian mythology. My posit loves the idea of being a god's son, so we run with it. I mean, we're fucking awesome, we should be gods. He has had 5 other people in his life, you see. He's able to transfer from human to human. He started with a human called Gennady, a leader of a tribe in the Siberian mountains. That went tits up in Norway due to all that emotional love shit. It is a whole story in itself, so that I will leave it there. They can choose to transfer from human to human at will. They can choose another human or ditch their own if the person is not cutting the mustard, as it were. He tells me that it is a rarity that a human mind can deal with the idea that they've joined with an invisible wolf soul. Funny that, huh? How would you feel if it happened to you? Do you think that you would be able to accept it easily? They often think, the human is, that they've gone mad. They can't cope. So it's often challenging to find someone with whom they can live and work. Fenrir, my posit, is particularly dark. Well, I call wolf souls posits. He chose me when I was a baby. I think he recognised the little tiny psychotic in me. We've been pals since then. Well, pals isn't really enough. We're the best of friends. In reality, he is my only friend and the only one for whom I care. Life is much easier that way, I find. He has a real hatred for humans. I mean, an actual hatred. I don't think there is a stronger word than hate for what he feels for the human race, but he feels that word should exist. I get all my abilities from him, I think. Well, not all my abilities. I think the ability to be an evil sociopathic nutcase is somewhat innate. That is a superpower inherent to me. Not having any emotional needs based on anyone but myself is a fantastic position in life. Everything and everyone becomes a tool with which to play and manipulate for my own ends. People are just things to be used in order to improve my life, even if that gives me, in the words of Shania Twain, the prerogative to have a little fun. Fenrir is also my mentor and teacher. He has lived and done so much in his life that he can talk me through any situation, and I trust him without question. He has taught me so much, and I love him for that, and his honesty, even though at times he is a right sarcastic bastard. He's very good at keeping me in check when I want to do stupid things that may get me in trouble. I was not allowed to even transform until my 12th birthday. He held me back. He knew that I had a propensity for brutality and violence, but had to learn a level of control. The biggest lesson from him was not the understanding what I was capable of, but how to control the wants and the actions that would draw attention to me. What does deposit look like to me? I say that because you can't see him, because he's invisible to all except me and some other werewolves. He is invisible. Not me that is invisible. That would be an extraordinary ability. Can you imagine the shit I would get away with if I was an invisible werewolf? Fen looks like a big black wolf. He's a little more wolfy than wolves, though. He's slightly caricatured in that his wolfy features are a little more wolfy than a normal wolf. Bigger head, more prominent teeth, and so on. What big eyes you have, Grandma, is very appropriate for him. He is black, like really black, like proper black, and when we combine we become the same colour. It's an amazing thing. It's not really a colour, it's a non-colour. It's like a matte black, the black that absorbs the light in the world. It reminds me of soot that is left after a wood fire. It is that kind of black. This means I become a shadow as the blackness sucks the light out of the world. The second thing that we have in common is the eyes of amber fire. We have eyes that hold the very fires of hell, if you believe in that, that shit, and that your eyes hold your soul. Then ours burns as though it's in hell, and if hell exists, then I'm pretty sure that's going to be my destination. However, I do hope Satan is ready for my appearance, because I will take that shit over if he's not. The werewolf soul can also be incredibly useful in life. Fen can wander off on his own, look at things and communicate with me. It's like having a secret camera. I can hear what he hears and see what he sees and converse with him telepathically while no one else can see him. It is super helpful. As a human, I have some special abilities. This is without changing. I'm about 3 times as strong as an average human. I don't know why. I am in incredible shape, but I'm no different than any other man size-wise. If you compare me to a man of my size, I should not be 3 times as strong as him. I physically look like a chiseled statue. My body looks like those men on the front of a fitness magazine. I don't train that hard. I do train because I like it, but I just seem to have a godlike physicality. I am devilishly handsome. Maybe not related to being a werewolf, but I feel it is slightly. Perhaps I'm genetically gifted to be a 10 out of 10. I think my werewolfiness has some reason for my looks, though. My senses as a human are better. They're not quite as good as when I'm a wolf or a werewolf. I think that's because those two creatures have physical things that would increase their senses more. Their ears, nose and eyes are physically evolved to sense stuff better. Having said that, my senses are much better than normal humans, I assume. I can sense people's movements with smell and hearing. My sight is spectacular at distance. My night vision is better than other humans, but I don't have the reflective tapetum of those truly nocturnal mammals. Wolves have them, and when I am a wolf, I have the reflective tapetum and can see almost like it's daytime on the darkest of nights. There are inabilities that come with being a werewolf and not a wolf, though, such as the fact that you don't really have a voice box and mouth that's the right shape to let you speak. The best thing about having a deposit in my life is that it gives me confidence to be who I am. Confidence is not seen as a superpower, but I believe it is. I value this beyond all else, but to be honest, no, that's a lie. Giant teeth and claws are way better, but confidence is useful. Another ability that I have is a bit different. I don't age now. I got to about 42 years of age and have not got any older. When talking to Fen, he seems to think that it's because he was about 40 wolf years. He seems to believe that his humans get to that age and stop. That is until he leaves them. Then they start to age again. Having met more werewolves, I think that he's right. I met a werewolf who looked like he was in his late teens to discover that he was over 1,000 years old. Lucky bastard in my eyes. I can change to a werewolf or a wolf with friends' consent whenever I wish. In changing, I can become a werewolf or the wolf. The full moon does have a massive effect. There's a reason for that. It was down to the shamanic rite where the wolves gave their souls being done on a full moon night. At first, I would have no choice but to change on a full moon. In fact, the days around it were difficult to hold the wolf back. These days, I can stop the change, but it is tough to do and mentally exhausting. Normally what I tend to do is find a place and just go with it and totally wolf out. Turning into the werewolf, what do I become when I become the werewolf? I become half man, half wolf. I'm about 8 feet tall from feet to the tip of my ears. My supporting legs are dog-like, but on a massive scale. The foot is not the flattened lump that humans have, but becomes another length within the leg and acts to make the leg more functional than when moving at speed. I run on my toes, which increases my power and dexterity in movement. My torso is that of a human, but on a larger scale. My waist is tiny, about 30 inches, but I widen like a triangle to my massively muscled back, chest and shoulders. I am somewhere between 4 and 5 feet across the shoulders. That is about 1.5 meters for you metricas. My forelimbs are longer than my human arms. My hands hang well below my knees, and I can run as a quadruped if necessary. I try not to, though. It seems slightly demeaning. I'm super strong. My pelt, as I said, is black, matte, soot-like. It absorbs light that falls on it, and it's thick. The outer hairs are rough and guard hairs so thick and tough that they can turn sharp blades and slow down the impacts from objects. A beautiful thing about these outer hairs is they turn water very well. They keep my skin very dry to a point. Below the guard hairs are a more sort of insulator kind of down, which is fluffier and keeps me warm or cool. The guard hairs are extremely waterproofing. I mean, extremely. Even in the heaviest of downpours, it's very rare that water gets even to my insulator layer or to my skin. My head is a giant wolf's head, a wolf's head in the extreme form. My teeth are larger than a regular wolf's, and my jaws are they're a bit bigger. My ears seem slightly too big for my head. I believe that they are so large so that they make my hearing something incredible. I'm a bit scary to look at, to be honest. Have I mentioned the eyes? I have mentioned the eyes. The eyes are the creme de la creme of me. Once you look in, you cannot look away. They can seem to be hypnotic. I've seen my prey freeze and give up in that moment when they look deep into those pits. They only see their loss of everything. My abilities in werewolf form are heightened. I'm strong like nothing else, and that strength seems related to my emotions. If I am angry, I can do unfathomable things. I once picked up a Dodge Ram pickup truck and threw it at someone in a fit of rage. I mean, I picked it up one-handed and threw it. You can probably sense from this that I was very angry at the time. My claws can rend and tear. They become sharpened blades that can even rip through like sheet metal. I can heal remarkably quickly from almost any injury except the loss of my head, so that's what Fen tells me anyway. I've not tested it. Anything that enters my body I can normally force out and heal. Bullets are just pushed to the surface and expelled. However, I have had some difficulty with barbed objects, to be honest. Cuts and wounds heal almost instantly. I can lose a limb and grow it back in minutes. It is somewhat miraculous. I mean, it still hurts like fuck when nasty things injure me. It means I manage to get back to battle though very quickly. As an upside or downside of this, I can live without food or water for what, in my opinion, is far too long a time. I can travel fast and without tiring. I can leap like 20 foot in the air, something that wolves are not renowned for. I mean, large jumps, that is. I can exist in the coldest situations, and warm ones are okay, but they can be a bit stifling. My sense of smell is remarkable. I can only tell you how it is. It's as though people have painted their scent into the world. I think of them as colours that travel through the land. The man who was there yesterday leaves a trail of faint blue paint that if I follow will get less faint until he is there. It is great, but the smells can be tortuous, with what can be smelt in the human world. My healing, as I previously said, is amazing. I can hear the tiniest of sounds. I can listen to the worms burrowing in the ground. The great thing is that it's never overwhelming, as I can focus on each individual sound. I can tell where the sound is directionally also due to my satellite dish-like ears. Basically, if I'm hunting you, you will not escape. Things that I don't do. If I bite you, you will not become a werewolf. It doesn't work like that. The idea that lycanthropy is transmitted from bite of another werewolf is a reasonably recent popular culture concept. Traditionally, transformation is due to magic as a form of punishment, or even due to excommunication from the Catholic Church. Biting people and making them into werewolves. Why would I create my own competition? As my giant wolf, I have many of the abilities mentioned above. The best thing about my wolf form is that I'm an all-terrain vehicle. I can go anywhere, very quickly and very efficiently. All in all, 3 of my forms, I am remarkable, unique, and I would say immortal. I can die, but it would have to be by catastrophic injury or accident. All in all, being a psychotic, murderous killing machine with my different forms and abilities is amazing. I've probably forgotten some or not noticed that I have them. I am so amazing. If you've any questions, please ask in the comments, and I will do my best to give you those answers. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. Please share these videos. Please, it would be wonderful if you did. Loads of people have, and the channel is growing very quickly. Thank you.